folks, I'm Lauren, and today is our very first recap from the reread of Insurgent. For the very first recap, we read chapters 1 through 11 of Insurgent in preparation for the movie that comes out on March 20th, 2015. Just a warning, there might be some spoilers in this video, so if you haven't read Insurgent or seen Divergent, this is probably not a good video watch. So in this very first video blog, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we read in chapters 1 through 11 and what I'm hoping to see in the Insurgent movie. So Insurgent picks up where Divergent left off. At the end of Divergent, in both the books and the movies, Triss and Four had just ended the simulation that Janine was running, saved Dauntless and Abnegation, and is now on the run because technically they're criminals. So some of the most important things that happen in the first 11 chapters center around Triss and her emotional reaction to everything that happened at the end of Divergent. Triss lost her parents, both of them. Was put under simulation, she shot one of her closest friends, and so she's dealing with a really emotional and traumatic experience, sort of a post-traumatic stress disorder thing. And a lot of what happens in the beginning of Insurgent has to do with the emotional impact and trauma that Triss is dealing with. Now, Divergent stayed pretty true to the original story written by Veronica Roth, and I think that bodes well for the Insurgent movie also staying true to the book. When Triss and Four go to the Candor compound, they are arrested for crimes against humanity. This is because Four was seen running the simulation in the book because he was under simulation by Janine. However, in the Divergent movie, this was not the case. Janine was in charge fully of the simulation, and Four was under a simulation by Janine, but instead was forced to attack Triss and had nothing to do with running the simulation. So I think that this has the potential to be one of the biggest differences. I do see them being arrested for some crime, maybe just running away, causing harm to Janine, but I think that overall, that's sort of where the biggest difference in the beginning of the movie will be. So because of the changes made regarding the hard drive, I think this has the potential to change one of the fan favorite scenes from the book, which has to do with Triss being put under peace serum. This has to do with Triss and Peter getting into an argument, or a physical fight, over the hard drive. Peter tries to steal it and Triss needs to get it back. So Triss is put under peace serum by Amity, and then begins to act a little loopy, kind of like someone does when they're waking up from, say, getting their wisdom teeth out or being under laughing gas. I don't think the movie makers are going to get rid of this scene completely because it's a definite fan favorite, but I am interested to see what causes the altercation that leads to Triss being put under peace serum because we don't have the hard drive in place to cause the argument. So one of the most important things that happens in the beginning of Insurgent has to do with a discovery made when Four and Triss end up at the Factionless compound. What it boils down to is that Four's mother is actually still alive and is the leader of the Factionless. Evelyn plays a huge role in the rest of Insurgent and Allegiant, and this is a big discovery because she was believed to have been dead. So now I'm going to talk just a little bit about what I'm hoping to see in the beginning of the Insurgent movie from what we've read so far in the book. I think I can see the movie starting out very similar to how Divergent did, a voiceover done by Shailene Woodley, introducing what happened at the end of Divergent. One of the interesting things is that Shailene had to cut her hair for her role in The Fault in Our Stars and decided not to wear a wig in Insurgent. In the book, Triss, very quickly and within the first few chapters, ends up chopping off her hair because of the emotional trauma she's gone through. So I can kind of see this actually starting very similar to Divergent. Divergent started with the scene where Triss's mother, Natalie Pryor, is cutting her hair and you see the hair trickling to the ground. I can kind of see this as Triss is doing the voiceover, a voiceover. I can see her chopping off her hair in an emotional distress, and then from there going into the actual movie, which has to do with them visiting the Amity compound. I definitely hope to see a good portion of the emotional struggles that Triss is dealing with. She's lost a lot. It's only been, the difference between the two movies is not even a day. She's still really struggling emotionally, and I really hope that that's something that is emphasized in the movie. From there, I don't think the beginning of the movie will be that different from the book until we reach the point where Triss and Four are placed under truth serum, and then from there I think it'll sort of spiral into having to have some differences just because of the changes made in the first movie. So that's the end of our first recap of our reread of Insurgent. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me a comment if you have questions, if there's anything you want to see in the Insurgent movie, what you thought about rereading the book, if there's anything you didn't remember, and thanks so much for watching.